There's a musical frenzy backing the frenetic performances at Circus Smirkus.
The music that you'll hear in this show brings us on a wild array of sound.
To the delight of the 30 young troopers and 67 different audiences, the live circus band's sound on the 2017 tour is both fuller and an anticipated windfall. The addition of a third professional band member provided a creative booster shot for composer Peter Buffano.
Because originally there was supposed to be a trumpet player for this edition, little switch out at the end, so he said, "What do you want to play?" I said, "Flute, clarinet, saxophone, maybe a little oboe," and he went to work.
This year, we have a three-piece band for the first time in many years at Smirkus. We were able to capitalize on some new talent that was available to us. The Ringling shows that were closing.
I think to Smirkus, they've been around, they have this reputation. It's a 30th anniversary tour. They've been a staple to the New England area. I wanted to be a trooper as a kid, and just getting to do this opportunity and working with these people, it's amazing.
This is only the second time I've ever worked for the circus, and the first was here 2 years before. I performed on cruise ships for 10 years, various other groups in Nashville. You're lucky to kind of gather all of this experience and work with younger people.
With a Beethoven character conducting, Wonderly and Leary also take a turn in the ring with a band of Smirkus troopers.
And you'll hear not only composed music that was done by beautiful music composed by Peter Buffano, but you also will hear a lot of open improv moments where these musicians really get to shine.
And it's all of the areas of music, costumes, lights, sound, rigging, props, set. We're pretty unique in that we are both a theatrical circus, but also a very small mud show.
Yes, the true meaning of a mud show. Yep, exactly. We got a lot of rain at the beginning, so dealing with that and trying to play woodwind instruments with a lot of rain is not always fun. This gig is different because, being a circus, everything's kind of on the fly. You can change at any point, as opposed to playing with an artist. You might just read down the page.
They're pretty good at staying to a certain routine. Whether or not it's going to be acted out exactly the same way as it was the show before, that's a whole different thing. Maybe they're feeling the music differently, the timing's different, maybe even something mildly goes wrong and they have to readjust. And of course, Catherine calls the show as well, so she's actually making a lot of calls in my ears to look out for a certain thing.
My foot, I'm working with 6 pedals and my keyboard to progress the show and talking to these guys while we follow a live show where it can be completely different. And if you've never played circus, it is very immediate, it's very reactive. If something changes the day of, say a performer's out, specifically today, performer was out of one act, the act is shorter.
I try very, very hard to stay honest with the soundtrack of this show. The minute I start changing the band, it's very difficult. I need to give them as much advance notice as possible. They're incredibly talented, and in some cases, the system that the music has been composed by allows us a little more flexibility than others.
So in the middle of an act, if I say, hey, we're gonna skip like 50 measures of music, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's as fast as it goes.
Yeah, if I take my eyes off that ring for any longer than, I'd say, 3 seconds, something probably will go crazy.
You get to feed off their energy, and then in the show you get to see them feed off the audience energy, and to hear they have the little kids around the ring. It's very intimate, and there's not many shows like that, specifically in the US, you know.
Covering 17 northeastern communities over a 7-week span, the multi-skilled youngsters often perform before sold-out audiences.
It's a lot of fun to play for a good house, without a doubt, a house that's into it. And even me, like, tucked in the back, I can't see anything. I still don't know what the show looks like. I see it on a little tiny blurry TV, but...
Here, they're working so hard, and it is so professional of them to throw their hearts and their passion into this, to the point that they're doing so many acts. You know, this is just as big as a professional show. It is a professional show.
I remember from the first tour going home and feeling like you could just take on the world. And that lasts about 4 months, and then the real world hits you in the face again. But I would say that's what I take away from this the most.
Yeah, I think when this is done, I'm probably going to sleep for a week, because we're just going and going and going, but they don't seem to have any lack of energy. So it's great. It's a lot of fun. It's a good reset for me.
Whenever I talk to the audience after a show, they forget that they're teenagers. These troopers carry themselves with poise, and they really understand performance, not just tricks. It's performance. This is, you know, making art quintessentially as circus. It's amazing, because they're going to grow up and be whatever they're going to be. I know a trooper's going to Princeton for something completely different. I know a bunch of troopers are going to circus schools. You know, so you're working with the future of this industry.
Just trying to keep up with the fast-paced performance on Circus Smirkus. I'm Lane Talbot. See you down the road.